There are about 90 days left in this year. That's 13 weeks to reclaim the version of you who started this year with fire in your belly. Let's get you back in alignment before it's too late. Hi there, I'm Anne-Katrin and I'm occasionally awake. I'm here to help you inspire your awakenings, heal yourself and reawaken your life. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. I started the year with the usual fresh rush of inspiration and energy and a long list of goals to achieve. Well, a lot did get done and even more didn't yet. Not because I wasn't lucky, not because I wasn't inspired, but because I wasn't braver. Sounds familiar? This has absolutely nothing to do with guilt, not for me, not for you, just with responsibility and self-leadership. As it turns out, we still got an entire quarter left, a full set of 3 months, 13 weeks and 90 days. Now is the time to review the list of goals that you wrote down in the beginning of the year. And I'm going to give you a 5-step process to help you map out and visualize the progress you've already made and the progress you still want to make in order to make Q4 your strongest quarter yet. We got no time to lose, so get out your yearly goals list and let's jump right into the 5-step process, starting with step 1. Step 1, getting into a gratitude mindset. Start by checking off the goals you've already achieved this year. And then take a moment to celebrate your progress. No matter how small, how imperfect, how incomplete, you've done something, probably even a lot. And you deserve to take the time to honor that. And please don't skip this, because the next steps are going to feel so much easier from a mindset of gratitude and motivation, looking at what you've already been able to accomplish rather than from a scarcity mindset. Think about this. For your scarcity mindset, what you do is never going to be enough, and thus you are never going to be good enough, yada, yada, yada. We all have that part inside of us. We all know that inner voice. So just don't let that inner critic run the show or manage your yearly goals list, is all I'm saying. Instead, focus on the progress and know that you are already enough. Now let's continue with step 2. Step 2, remove unaligned goals. First, you want to cross out the goals that are not aligned with you anymore. You know, no judgment. I actually found 3 goals on my yearly goals list that I looked at and I was like, I don't feel it anymore. I have no interest in pursuing these goals where I'm at right now. That might change in the future, but looking at the goals for this year and for Q4, they're just not a priority. Obviously, consistency and structure are always important when it comes to managing our goals. But remember that sometimes they can be an indication that we are trying to hold on to the logistics for safety. There's this beautiful quote, I think it is by Alan Watts. You are under no obligation to be the person you were 5 minutes ago. So always remember, no matter which goals you wrote down in the beginning of the year, you get to check in with yourself now to see if they are still aligned with who you are today and with who you want to be becoming. You know, our intuition might guide us in one direction and we follow one path for weeks or months or sometimes even years, but then suddenly we pivot. Our intuition prompts in us new creative impulses, a new desire, a new vision, and that prompts us to course correct. It's totally legit to let your feeling and your gut decide which of your yearly goals are still relevant and a priority today. I'm so glad you're here right now. So if you enjoyed this, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications to become occasionally awake with me. Step 3, focus on what's most important. Circle the goals that are really important to you. The ones you know you need to accomplish by the end of the year in order to maintain your self-integrity. Trust in your ability to follow through and also create the right motivation and momentum to start the new year. This step also implies abandoning any goals that you didn't cross out in step 2, but that you didn't feel to be important enough to circle in step 3. Your life is probably already full, so don't shy away from abandoning some more goals and only keeping the goals that are high gain, high level of self-integrity and high priority for you right now to take with you into Q4. Step 4, sort your goals. Time to gain some more clarity on your high priority goals now that made it into the list for Q4. Divide them into 4 categories by sorting them into the following columns: autonomous event, autonomous process, interdependent event, and interdependent process. These categories distinguish between the parameters event versus process and autonomy versus interdependence. Event versus process goals are kind of self-explanatory. Event goals might be to book an appointment, go to a concert, visit a friend, or go on holiday. Process goals might be to write a book, improve communication skills with your partner, or finally implement the morning routine that you've been wanting to try since Q1. Gotcha. The other parameter, autonomous versus interdependent, relates to the role that you play in achieving that goal. For example, writing a book is a self-led process, which means that the outcome is entirely dependent on you. You write or you don't. Publishing a book, by contrast, the traditional way, so finding and working with a publisher, is a goal that you can facilitate through your actions, but the final achievement is dependent on other people's collaboration. You cannot fully control the outcome or when the goal will be achieved. Here are more examples for the interdependent event. Go on a date, sell the couch on Craigslist. And more examples for the interdependent process. Reach 10K subscribers on YouTube. Find a partner, get a promotion, declutter the garage with a garage sale. So after you've gained some more clarity on your high priority goals that you want to implement for Q4, by sorting them into these 4 different categories, it's time to continue with step 5. Step 5. Flip them over. Step 5 is all about giving the goals you have selected a concrete shape so that you know what you're actually working towards and how you can make that possible in Q4. Let's start with the goals you've listed as autonomous events. So, if the autonomous event was no event at all but an autonomous process, so we flip that goal into the other category, which micro steps could you be taking? How could you break that goal down into micro steps to help you achieve that goal, that final outcome? Next question. If the autonomous process was not autonomous at all, but an interdependent process, which people or circumstances could you engage in your network in order to help you actualize that process and provide accountability? Next question. If the interdependent event was an autonomous event, then what could you be thinking, feeling, and doing in order to maximize your chances at success? This helps to remind you of your self-efficacy and might include steps like reviewing your dating profile or reviewing the lighting of the pictures taken of the couch that you want to sell. For the last category, interdependent process, I suggest we look at things differently. This is the category you have least control over. At least if we do not take manifestation into account, which I do not do in this video, which is more about the 3D logistics of managing your yearly goals list in more worldly terms, we could say. Because right now we are literally figuring out how to achieve those goals after all, those high priority goals that we want to accomplish in Q4 of this year. Let's not put ourselves in the emotional pressure cooker of basing our worth on the metaphorical process marathon that we cannot even run by ourselves. That's why I suggest either ditching the goals from this category altogether or keeping them as meta goals that we want to be adding sub-goals, milestones to, that meet the criteria of the autonomous process. If the interdependent process was an autonomous process, which steps could you be contributing through your work and your actions to help you achieve that interdependent process goal of yours? For example, I personally had a numerical goal for the number of YouTube subscribers that I wanted to reach this year. And reaching that number is a goal that falls into the category of interdependent process. I don't even know the exact number right now, but I'm pretty sure that it would lead to disappointment in 3 months, because the truth is that I grew very little this year. But obviously goals from this category do not or should not exist in a vacuum. Did I ever think I'd set a numerical goal for the number of subscribers I wanted to reach without posting a single video? No, obviously not. Does anyone decide to declutter their garage with a garage sale without ever opening the garage to take inventory? No. Meaning, no, in 3D only terms, you cannot impact how many people are going to subscribe to your YouTube channel and how many people are going to show up to your garage sale. But you can make sure that you do your part, that you show up for yourself. I am celebrating myself for the consistency with which I'm finally posting and will continue to post. So the original numerical goal from the interdependent process category is still on my goals list. It's still somehow important. But at the end of the year, I'm not going to base my worth on that number, but on how serious I took this work with my actions. And that's what I'd love for you too. So break that interdependent process goal down into the autonomous process steps that relate to it. So that at the end of the year, you can look at the milestones you achieved and evaluate the process based on how you showed up for yourself. Now it's time for bonus step 6. Now that you've gained all the clarity you need on your best of goals that you want to keep from this year to accomplish in Q4, write them down on a new list. The best of goals list. I really hope that this framework, this process helps you to give your goals a second chance in Q4. You don't need to wait until New Year's Eve to review your goals and then realize possibly again that you've let yourself down, that you've fallen short of your own expectations and standards. You still got time. You still got a whole quarter ahead of you, so use it wisely. Use it to hone in on what's important to who you are becoming. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. And if you want more insights on the 4 different types of awakenings and how to experience them in your life occasionally, then visit me at occasionallyawake.com to inspire your awakenings. Bye.